GRC. This is Crypto in the Morning. Let me touch on the comments real quick because it's going absolutely nuclear. Wow. Thank you so much for the support, guys. I really appreciate it. Crypto Gains Club. How's everyone doing? Switch Kill 65, Rolling Zuko. Guys, Abanir _ we had a lot of new fans last night. Sam, you might not even have caught. I went live last night. You might have missed that completely. It was a great stream. We were on with Maximus Dow, Steaks and Apes, and Sandstorm. Who else were we on with? Oh, yeah, and Orca came on too. That's amazing. John May, how you doing this morning? Great to see everybody. We have a lot to talk about today, really a lot to talk about. And it could get ugly. GRC was making it ugly last night. I had a couple of beers. I'm not going to lie. All the guys were chopping up. I was way past my bedtime. But it was really fun. Like, I felt like a bad kid who was sneaking out of school. I was up at midnight. Guys, good morning. Hex Boy, how you doing? Chad Donnerswan's manic monologue intro. Not feeling so manic today. Haven't had a sip of caffeine yet. Might need to hop on that soon. Actually, when I'm doing the song, I'm definitely going to hop on that. Thanks for the reminder, Donnerschwans. Hector, great to see you as always. Love your comments always. Lots of value. MJ Money. Everyone's really excited about the fitness challenge, guys. Super excited about the fitness challenge, including me. Go to cryptofitnesschallenge.com. Get a free sign-up. Sign-up ends May 1st. 100% free. $15,000 USD in prizes so far. And I haven't even started reading my DMs. Well, yeah, I have. But Kyler Kaufman, great to see you. Good morning. Monica, MoFit Meals. What a beautiful, beautiful smile by Monica. MoFit Meals, good morning. Good morning. Guys, me and Sam, our plan is quick alpha, change the world forever. Okay? So we're going, this is so exciting. This is the most exciting thing I've ever done in my life. If that's embarrassing to say, then everyone can fuck off. Because I've done a lot of fun ass shit. And there is nothing more fun than digging into crypto projects, groundbreaking crypto projects potentially that no one's talking about, and getting to the bottom and the truth of what's going on in the industry. Because guess what? There's only a few people that are in a position where they can do that. It's a time suck, guys. I'm a 24-hour studying fool. If you're a furu and you got a weird project, stay away from your boy GRC because he's going to expose you. But at the same time, if you have audited code and you want to show us anything and get on this show at the same time, I will make this a platform where you can come on and show your best stuff. Okay, guys? It's your boy GRC. It's Hex in the Morning. Share this out if you haven't already, guys. Smash the like. I'm going to try to say that more often. I always forget. Share this out to your friends, guys. Share this out to Twitter. Share this out to Instagram. Show people. We're going to be here every single day. Sam's coming on like twice a day. I'm coming on other streams sometimes twice a day. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to be here all day. We are going to be the future of streaming. This is the best crypto. What do we got? Ooh. Oh my. Who's the gorilla? Okay, it was Sasquatch sighting. Just kidding, guys. Great to see everyone. I'm going to get my butt out of here. Everyone, it's your boy GRC. Bob your head to this song for a minute while you sign up for the Hex Fitness Challenge, free of charge.
Young folks, you tripping on them motherfucker. Richard Hart. Bought my Hex from the fucking start. Point one every day we mark. Bought my Hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Bought my Hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hart. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Checking my MetaMask moving. Look at the Hex, he is mooning. Looking at wives they be choosing. Peter is why they be losing. Pulsechain's out, now get me a check. He's gas up and it got me a mess. Remember the times he died collect. Hex, I been eating, I'm dying in the best. Getting this back like a year year ago. Getting this Pulsechain lingo. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Getting this back like a year ago. Getting this Pulsechain lingo. Swerving the ring like a Lambo. Buy my hex from the fucking start. Girl flexing all this bread like I'm Richard Hurt. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Buy my hex from the fucking start. Sacrificing all this bread like I'm Richard Hurt. Got paid on big payday and I had a hairy start. Now I'm checking on my pulse just to check my heart. Richard Hurt. Richard Hurt. Richard Hurt. Richard Hurt.
Good morning, Sam. How are you doing today?
That was a little Freudian slip there. I slipped that in right before we got onto that little video there. That was a steep
gorilla Sasquatch sighting. I didn't know this was Discovery Channel. Dude,
that's a little creepy.
You should get 6-inch heels and wear a Sasquatch
for Halloween.
For Halloween, that would be so much. Dude, we should do something for Halloween since I'm so much smaller than you. We could do like some sort of like whatever characters. We should
do something. Oh, maybe we can do something crypto related, right? We'll definitely have a Halloween show for you guys. We'll definitely have.
Oh my god, because we don't go out, so
yes,
we're not going anywhere.
So I'm doing awesome. Today was leg day. It's happy hump day. Speaking of working out, we have over 180 people signing up for the Fitness Crypto Challenge. If you guys yes, there's around $15,000 worth of prizes and mainly hacks. Yes, there's cool supplements. Yes, there's NFTs. Yes, there's a lot of free stuff throughout that process. But really, it's taking action on your life. It's achieving a healthier body. It's achieving a healthier mind. It's winning together with everybody, supporting everybody. It's not the BS you see on television where people hate each other and all that. We love everybody. We want everybody to win. Just because somebody else is winning doesn't mean it's bad for me. I'm inspired by other people who are winning and making progress in their life. I get excited about that stuff. So if you're excited or inspired to do that, then jump over to
good morning, Fashion Coder. She's my internet girlfriend.
Oh, what's up? Fashion Coder, good morning.
Jump over here. Fashion Coder. Sign up. Great to see you as always. All right, so what are we looking at here? We have
over 180 signed ups. That's fucking amazing. Good stuff coming up too. We got really good stuff. So these are you want to talk about these sponsors real quick?
Yes. So guys, real quick, I'm going to go through these sponsors one by one really quick just to say a little bit of piece about each one of them. Shield Masters, as you can see, excuse me, let me change my angle a little bit. As you can see, guys, I have a window right here, so I'm going to switch the view of everything soon. But Shield Masters has been my best friend since 6th grade. We met 6th grade Halloween. He moved into the neighborhood because he was going to private school, and then he was switching to public school. So that summer was the first time he was going into the regular school, and we were all like on the sports teams and stuff. So we met. Anyway, the dude was obsessed with Marvel his whole life. Marvel. Obsessed to the point where like this dude would stare at Legos all day, play with Captain America shit. Like that was his thing. And I didn't give a rat's ass about any of that stuff, really. I thought it was cool. But anyway, he decided in the future, once he got older, he made a business where he makes shields. The first one was the Captain America shield original. It's not this one, the first one ever made. But anyway, guys, if you use promo code GRC50, you can get $50 off any of the shields you want with your design on it, blah, 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 all that stuff. Shieldmasters.com. I'll show it at the end. But for the competition, there are 3 shields custom for each winner. Each winner gets one custom shield. And guess what? Maximus Dow, Molly wants Legion Capital on there. Maximus Dow wants the Maximus sign on there. Everyone wants the shield with their logo on it. Everyone's like, fuck the money. We want the logo on the shield. We have Triggered here. And just like yesterday, we were talking about peptides. I don't want to say that peptides are on this website. I'm not 100% sure.
Triggered, I do have. That's my company.
Is there BPC on there?
There is BPC on there. There's some pre-workout. If you like liberals tears, you can go check out that. There's some other peptides, but they're going to be given away. You don't need to go check anything on that site. It's probably shit you've never heard of before. So unless you are deep down that rabbit hole, most of the shit you're not going to have any idea what it is. But I am sponsoring the Crypto Fitness Challenge because I want people to win in life. Next is Motley, who's giving away 90,000 X. That's more than I have, period, which is awesome. We have NFTs, progress NFTs. By the way, we mentioned this yesterday. The thing about the NFTs, you're like, I don't give a shit about these like JPEGs, right? That's cool, but consider that because we're giving out these NFTs, we can actually give you future prizes if we run this again or when we decide to maybe come out with our own thing or something. Anybody who's
Dude,
holding
there's
those
going to be
NFTs.
so much more we can do as we evolve this. This is our first shot at this, and we already are doing a pretty decent job. Imagine if we had months as a group to collectively talk to each other and come up with the best. Because, I mean, guys, this is free. Let's be real. We all have lives and stuff to do, so we're trying our best to make it the best product ever. But we're also learning along the way, right? Like, we just want to learn. Like, I just want to learn how these things work. Email lists, shit like that. Like, it's all of that to me. It's not just a fitness challenge. I'd be stupid for me to say this is just a fitness challenge so everyone in Hex can get fit. I really do not give a shit if most people in Hex get fit, to be honest. I would love the people that want to get fit in Hex to have an opportunity to have real information. It's kind of what I want, Sam. You know what I mean? Like, I like people that want that real information because that was always me, right? But there was sometimes never a place to go for it. That's why I found guys like you, like, soared the internet for hours and hours to find random videos about dudes that were finally being honest. So, guys, I forgot what I was going with that, but blah, 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 blah.
Well, have you guys ever considered the last time it's been probably a decade for me, but had a $500 shopping spree for some clothes and cool shit? Well, that's another sponsor.
Never in my life has that occurred in my life.
I don't, unless I bought a suit years ago. Like,
no, I mean, I might have spent $500, but I've never had $500 spent for me maybe my mom, I guess. But
and then we have Marco also doing
dude,
that.
how dope would it be if you had that 500 right there and you could just go to hexmerch.com right now and just buy cool hats, buy cool like a backpack for the gym or something like this.
Or like this shirt that is literally 11 years old or 12 years old. Maybe I'll replace it. Right? Something
Dude,
like
it's
that.
crazy. We have a lot of merch. I don't want to say this out too loud between all these blah, 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 I forgot what I was saying. But damn it, I forgot what I was saying.
Well, there's a lot of merchandise companies out there.
Because let's be honest, guys, there's not a stringer in crypto yet that I'm wearing. I'm picky with my stringers, okay? If I'm wearing you know what a stringer is, Sam? Just like, yeah, like, so some people like to wear stringers, and then some people like to wear like a little bit more. I like to wear stringers, and there's yet to be a hex stringer, guys. Whoops.
Coming up, preview.
There's yet to be a hex stringer. Wendy's Motley, that's a challenge. If you can get to the hex stringer before me,
yes, I will wear a stringer as well.
I love stringers. It makes me look shabby poo. Let's see what everyone's saying in the chat. Good morning, Hex Siren. Great to see you. Hex Fashion Coder's coming in here and just getting all my clout, coming in here just being sweet to everyone. GRC and Fashion Coder would be the cutest couple in crypto. Triple C, I think that's true. John May, morning, brother. Talking to you, Sam.
What's up? I'm here shoving my face. John May, good morning. How are you, sir? Great seeing you in the chat as always. I love it.
Monica Mofit Meals, woot woot, hottest and best couple. You should see me with my haircut, Monica. You're gonna be like, wow, this dude really cleans up. I'm telling you, I look like a jackass right now. If I'm outside of Starbucks, I look homeless for the most part. Like, I'm like looking at my phone at like Fiat and all this random stuff, and I'm like wearing a sweatsuit, my hair and my facial hair. Because I've always been clean cut as far as you've remembered, right? Yeah. Like, this is the first. I never had hair on my face ever in my whole life until crypto. Crypto put hair on my freaking chest.
I'm thinking about growing out one of those big ass beards.
Can you do that though? Does it?
Yeah, because I have to shave like every week or like.
But your chin is so chin-tastic that it's kind of, you know, some people have that weak chin and then they like to have the beard because it kind of covers the chin.
Gives them a more masculine look.
People have liked my beard so far. I've been surprised, to be honest. I thought everyone says I look younger. I think it's the long hair though. I look like a lax bro, they say.
John Mayer says he wants a shield. John, you should win the contest. There's going
John,
to
if
be
you
3
want a
winners.
shield and you don't win the contest, GRC50, everyone's buying the shields without using the promo code. And I don't even care about the money. I just want him to know that I'm sending people that way. You know what I mean? Because then it makes me feel more happy with everything. Okay, real quick, let me read some stuff. So what I'm going to ask you a few questions, answer them as honestly and accurately as you possibly can. Have you heard of Fiat? This right here.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, as of yesterday, I heard of it. So.
Okay, so go ahead and eat that chicken and borrow, earn, leverage, short, guys. I'm going to read this out real quick, okay? Can you scroll down just a hair?
Yeah.
So this is a fork of Aave, guys. This is the same code as Aave as far as what they started with. And it's a decentralized liquidity protocol. Use the RH eco tokens as collateral, Sam. In that, okay, so keep decentralized non-custodial liquidity protocol, borrow against your single token, yield-bearing assets, efficient leverage, high percentage deposit rewards, stake S Fiat to share platform revenue. More novel features on the way. All right, scroll down. So far, so cool. Fiat is designed. Okay, go up for a sec.
Whoops.
Fiat is designed to help its holders accrue value and benefit from the potential growth.
Revenue sharing platform Fiat features a revenue earning token, $Fiat with a PH, for anybody who's listening, sharing platform fees between token holders and liquidity providers. The governance and utility token will also be burned from circulation in liquidation events to support the price. Well, this is like, I learned about this yesterday. I gotta dig deeper into this because this is fascinating.
That's what I'm saying, Sam. Like this is, you know, I'm not always as articulate with my thoughts as you. Mine more spread out through everywhere. But like when I attach to something that I want to learn about, I always know it's important. Like it's not this exactly. It's not Fiat. I don't know anything about Fiat exactly, except I played with the testnet. But this concept needs to be hammered out, and it's getting hammered out right now. These guys are fighting. There's going to be 10 of these, Sam.
10 of Fiat type platforms?
10 forks of Aave is going to come over probably too.
Oh, so
that's what I'm saying, Sam. It's a fucking, this is a shit show. This is why I'm starting here. I'm trying to figure out what is the best decentralized lending protocol as we move forward, because that's something I personally am super interested in.
And this, guys, this is amazing. So anybody who's here for the first time and doesn't know or hasn't heard me say this, I'm actually refinancing this property and going to be pulling cash out and putting it into crypto, right? Not saying you should do anything that I talk about in my videos at all whatsoever, but
Sam, we have a big like from India. We just got a like from India.
Whoa, what's up?
Chowd Hurry. Great to see you, man. That shirt looks swaggin'. I appreciate you very much. Thank you for coming in and stopping by. This is the greatest show in crypto for the most comprehensive overviews and detailed analysis of these things moving forward. Everyone else wants to go over it with the brush. I want to go into it. Okay. I want to get in there. I want to know what the F are these dudes doing? Marketing, everything.
Liquid loans is a pure protocol. So I will be doing a deep dive on Fiat. And I think the dude, he committed to your channel or my channel. We're going to be doing a live.
Next week he's coming on. Next week, the guy from Hurricash is coming on this channel. And guys, I'm going to say something. Can we pull me up solo real quick?
Yeah, we got you.
I made a mistake last night. I made a whoopsie and I had a few beers. Okay. So I'm gonna apologize for my mistake. Well, I'm not gonna apologize. I'm gonna tell you what I was thinking at the moment. So I was looking into Tornado Cash all yesterday because I wanted to do my show today on Tornado Cash just by random, right? And you can ask Bullish; he would have said the same thing. Scott was mentioning Tornado Cash, and whenever I start mentioning stuff, that's usually what I want to do the show on. Anyway, somebody said, "Oh my God, you have to look at this thing called Hurricash," and I said, "Okay, well, let me start looking into this." So I go to the Twitter. It hasn't been active in a month. So I said, that's not a good sign. I go to the Discord. It hasn't been active. I'm hearing music.
Yeah. I'm also hearing music. I don't know where it's coming from.
Oh, it's your share screen. It's okay. I made it. Anyway, I went to the Discord. It was inactive. I went to a couple things. It didn't seem active. I saw a couple concerned messages, and I accidentally, after a few beers and a bong hit, said this seems like a rug pull. And to be honest, it really does seem like a rug pull, even to this moment. I mean, not going to lie to you guys. I mean, if you guys are doing a project and you have money involved and you can't do any marketing, you can hire an 18-year-old to hold on to a Twitter account and tweet some stuff out. So that's a red flag from me. If you want me to be 100% clear, that's a giant red flag that I cannot, that it looks like you're inactive. But at the same time, I went into the Telegram. They were very receptive. Immediately, we started talking. I'm going to have this guy on. We're going to look into all of it. And they admitted, they said, hey, our marketing has taken a back burner. We've been diving into this shit as hard as we can. And I said, hey, that's noble to say, right? I mean, it's more noble to say our marketing is shit rather than saying like, oh, you're just a dickhead, right? Like they could have just been like, you're just a dickhead. But they also mentioned that they could maybe step up in the marketing realm, which I respected. They respected me for apologizing this morning because I want Hurricash very badly. So what if anyone thinks that I'm just fudding shit? If Hurricash were to work out, I would be extremely happy. Okay, like really happy. So that's all I'm going to say about that, guys. Sorry for fudding, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. And let's hope that I don't have to FUD again. Take care of that back end. No, guys, thank you for being open with me in the Telegram. I appreciate that, and I love to have you on soon.
Hey, Hexacat, what's good? Good morning. How you doing? And this is from Hexacan Hockey. One of the few I missed to sacrifice. So there is a sacrifice coming up, but I don't know if we're going to talk about that because we're not necessarily promoting this yet because we don't know enough about it. Could be
I don't know
fantastic.
enough about Fiat. Unless that guy comes on with me, I won't promote the sacrifice at all. I don't know enough about it. I have to, unless, guys, the code is audited and I can see all that stuff, I can't. I am to that point, Sam. So here's another point. On this show, this is my stance right here. Boom. This is where I draw the line. If there's no code and it's not audited, I'm not pushing any sacrifice phases. Period. End of story. Y'all can suck. Nope, not going to say that.
but true.
Lick your own finger because I'm not participating in that stuff. It's not necessarily correct in my opinion.
So let's
expectations. Imagine. But the thing about the Fiat, dude, the weird part about the Fiat, if you go to the Fiat website, and here, I'm going to do it because I was reading it and I got to scroll down to a certain spot. But
you want me to scroll down? I have it up already, or you want to pull it up?
Well, I want to go to the facts page, the FAQ page.
All right, let's.
I'm going to do it because I want to scroll down.
Cool, you got this.
So I'm right here. Boom.
I'm going to go through look at this.
And we're also going to be talking about the Hex Investment Trust. I might have if Wales wants to come on. We're going to have to talk.
Copy of Aave, so you can supposedly can't fork Aave. This will be interesting. I'm going to do a deep dive in both of these on my channel. So if you guys want to catch the deeper dive, like not as much back and forth, but like, hey, I've got the notes out. I'm going through every little detail on it. You guys can check out my channel. There's a link down below. Also, there's links down below for Twitter, and one of the things, because I can't win the 90-day fitness challenge. Because it wouldn't really be a competition if I was in it, basically, is what GRC was telling me. So what I can win is beating GRC in the number of Twitter followers by the end of the 90-day challenge. He's currently winning. So if you go to the description, you scroll down past his Twitter, go past his Twitter, don't click on it, and then go to my Twitter, click over to Twitter and press the follow button. That would be tremendously helpful so I can win that challenge. So you pull
I'm closing in on 5,000 subs very quickly, disgustingly quickly.
Oops, you got cut
I
out.
was actually doing the math, and I was looking at the parabola of my
follower growth.
I was looking how high the parabola for my Twitter followers was actually going. And it was actually, it's funny that you were saying this because it was actually impossible by science for you to catch up with me. If you really look at the you got to trust me, you got to calculate a couple of things. There's like,
well, if that's the case, then it's easier for me to get to 1,000. So forget them two and just follow me, guys.
Yes, guys, if you are not following Bullish Ox, this guy is providing more value. If you want to know, if you want to push him to make more videos, follow his ass because he'll make videos on Raspberry Pis and all sorts of cool stuff that we can take advantage of because he's very smart in the tech shit, dude. He knows all the tech shit, all of it. Well, maybe not all of it.
What will be your thoughts before we get into the Fiat thing? What's up, Motley? Good morning, Motley. How you doing? Thank you for stopping in, sir. You're looking good yesterday. From Sandip, this is from India, so from across the pond world. what be your thoughts about circulating supply of p-hex after mainnet? Is it the same as ehex? Yes, it is the same as ehex. So exactly the same. So if there's circulating supply of X on Ethereum, it's going to have exactly the same
I'm
thing.
so
Now,
proud of you, Sam, dude. This is so nice that we all know this info. Isn't it nice though? Because when I first said it, it's like, for me, when I was first talking to you about this, how much of there's so many things to learn. And it's like, you hope the person takes it by the horns, right? That's all you can really do. Hi, Francis. Yeah. I love Jesus too. Actually, I don't know if I love Jesus. I take that back. I've never dealt in the world of the Jesus. So, guys, I'm going to share this screen real quick, read a couple of things that really popped out to me, Sam.
Yes, please.
I got a new mouse. And there's buttons all over the sides of it. And whenever I click it, it clicks me back to the page before. So that's why I keep leaving. I got a new mouse, guys. So there was a couple of things I wanted to look at right here that were interesting to me. So I want to go to the FAQ. Hold on. So in this,
the page is not moving
a lot, Sam. So tell me what you think about this. They mention a lot about the RH products and like what they would do with the hex. So they're basically tending towards hexagons, right? Like it seems like. But again, there's a sacrifice phase for this, which immediately makes hexagons hate every person and thing that is in their life, because it is frustrating giving to your money to random people all the time, guys. And it is a FOMO thing. I don't care what anyone says. Me and Bullish go into the background. We're like, dude, we're FOMOing. And I'm like, yeah, I know. And it's not with a lot, it's with a little, but guys, at the same time, this is why I'm deciding to do this. I want to be way, way, way more thorough. So who are you? We are hexagons with some decent sized bags. Some of us are sharks. Some of us are squids and turtles. I'm a turtle.
I think we can't see what you're saying. I don't think you said who are you? Is that where are you reading from? Because whatever page you have pulled up, it's not scrolling or something.
It's not what? Really?
Here, look at is this what you were trying to look at? This part here. Who are you?
Right here. This is it.
Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry. I'm an idiot when it comes to the switching over.
No,
who are you? We are hexagons with some decent sized bags. I already read that. What is fiat? Fiat is a play on the word, guys. Switch that up. Fiat is a play on the word. God, hire me for your back end already, all right? I mean, for the front end, which means loosely cash. We liked the Vermont rock group fish growing up. Notice the P and the H could stand on the pulse and the hex. The idea is we were creating pulse. All right, scroll down. Cute story, guys. Let's get to business. What is the Fiat organization? There is no organization. It is run consortium. It just means many of hexagons. Yeah. Don't use tricky language for us gym rats. With aligned interest to push up the hex price. Our aim. Okay, so this is Sam. Pay attention here because this is where I get a little the marketing / the reality gets a little twisted for me. So when they say stuff to push up the hex price, right? That's a big word, right? Mm-hmm. Like push up the hex price. Like our goal. It's like a lot of the people that are saying like our goal is to bring adoption to Pulsechain, and everyone's like, no, your goal is to make a lot of money. So can we call a spade? Because that's what we do on this show, right? That's not hating, by the way. That's just marketing, and we're just talking about it. Yep. So our aim is to take the best stuff you see. Someone needs to really look over this page. The punctuation is horrible, and I was not educated. I got no education, and I know the punctuation is horrible.
I was homeschooled, like K through 12, and I'm seeing.
No, literally, I was drug schooled because all I was doing was selling drugs. Our aim is to take all the best stuff to see what's happening on Ethereum and DeFi and bring hexagons friendly versions of it to Pulsechain. We have seen enough unaccountable bad actors and carpetbaggers doing unethical sacrifices. Sam, what do you think about that? That is a pretty heavy statement saying unethical sacrifices when these things are not even occurred yet. They're already calling everything else unethical. They're undermining people right there and saying with the same thing that they're doing.
Correct.
Which is very interesting.
Yeah. So why is this sacrifice any different than some other unethical sacrifice? I don't know. I mean, like, and remember
a word butthole salad. A word salad.
Remember, and by the way, I'm like potentially very bullish on like the Aave copy or Aave. Like, I'm not trying to give these guys a hard time, but like, when you look at the word sacrifice, that's only related to Richard Hart products because it's not happening anywhere else. So, who else are you talking about in this case here when you're doing exactly what other people are doing?
There's only like 5 other dudes that did it, so you're 20% of that. So, and you're the one saying, and I'm not talking shit. I'm saying this is written poorly. Is all I'm saying. Richard involved? Not in any way. However, we are happy to talk. We would be happy to talk to Richard one-on-one at some point. That would be a better way to. Who are the devs? We have a team of highly skilled, highly educated professional programmers who also work in finance. That's a big deal if that's true. The fact that they're programmers and they work in finance, Sam, that rings a positive bell for me.
When I was looking at, I'm going to just scroll to the top here for a second. When you could click over to the sacrifice or some other page in here, it's got some spreadsheets, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. It's because you could tell they're like nerdy in the way that I'm nerdy, the sense that like they're not graphic people, they're not like UI UX people. They're like looking at the fucking numbers because they just like took screenshots of the fucking spreadsheet and put it up on the site.
Yeah, but if you're rich, can't you hire people to write for you?
Correct. Or you could also hire people to do grammar for you too. But like,
no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm poor and I would not do that.
We're all spots, so this is interesting. No.
I just mean like as far as like, and I just mean because detail orientation has something to do with the product, right? Like if someone, Sam, what does it look like to you? If someone's not detail oriented on the FAQ page, what does that mean to you about the next page? It's like, you have to be very locked in when you're writing things down. You can't just like, anyone can write a website, and I don't know anything about websites either. I'm just talking about purely like the writing. So she said, so funny. Those guys are complained about other sacks. Yeah. So that's what happens, guys. Some people complain about other sacks and then they get away with their buddies and they're like, those sacks are a good idea. RH, I'm going to stick to the RH products. I'm not going to say that personally. Hello, sirs. Love the content. Do you know, or have you heard anything about liquid loans, Power City, etc., contract addresses to add to your wallet? We've done episodes on them in the past. They're not out yet, so everything you're saying is speculative. I don't know what you want. They have had sacrifice phases. As far as other than that, that's as far as we've gone so far. So figure out what you're. I don't understand. Do you know or have you heard anything about liquid contract? No, I have not.
No, so I think what Moist Oyster, what a name, that brings up some certain imagery right there, man. But I think what he's referencing is adding that specific token to MetaMask, I believe. OO is not live yet. No contract to add. Thank you, Hexicat. Hexicat's in the comments often, and I appreciate that.
Hexicat is always. Sorry, I was commenting in both of ours again. Fuck. Sorry, but guys, real quick, we have 69 live viewers at this moment.
Oh man, moist oysters.
But please share this out real quick, guys. We want to go into depth. There's lots of verbiage within these FA. I'm getting really, really excited about learning the last couple of days. Like really jacked up, not talking to anyone, just doing it on my own, kind of really asking everyone the same question over and over, going to every Telegram group saying, what is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? Like a little kid on Christmas.
Are you realizing that what we're talking about is like there's only a tiny fringe of the world population who is understanding the shit we're talking about here? Like if you guys are one of the 68 people here watching, 67 people watching, you are on the fringe of society in a good way in terms of we are understanding what is happening in the future with DeFi. The rest of the world will catch up at some point, but this is where that tremendous opportunity happens. When you see what's around the corner and the rest of the world doesn't see what's around the corner yet, you can get in before everybody else does and make massive amount of money through that process, take advantage of different opportunities before the yields or things happen to them where this shit becomes more expensive. Like this is a tremendous opportunity what we're talking about right now. Is it ethical? than doing it because it's going to drive the price of Hex up. I don't know. Interesting. I'll do a deep dive so we can cover it more in depth.
Yeah, we want to see
tomorrow,
everything,
maybe.
but you can't. Again, we just need audited code before we can. That's pretty much the consensus, right?
Motley. Let's say Motley.
If
yeah,
if you want to have these guys on, let me know. Yeah, I was talking to the Fiat guy in the spaces. We're gonna try to have him on. We're gonna move on from this. This is an Aave fork, guys. Look into this stuff. We're gonna be covering this more as we go forward. There is a sack phase and shit coming up. I'm not gonna talk about it too much until I do another like 3 or 4 hours directly. 69. Thank you, HexyCast. Story of my life. Guys, real quick, just to spruce it up, I'm going to play this super cool commercial. Going to change my handle to Monsanto because I'm about to have the Pulsechain monopoly on farms. Attendees, my man, great to see you guys. Oh, my God.
Wow, that's a good comment. Hey, that's going to be an NFT later today. If you guys want to buy it, you can go to OpenSea. So go ahead and pull up this new video you're talking about.
To reiterate, I was thinking during that time, the only reason that I ever have a negative connotation or anything towards any of these projects or websites is because they're taking millions of dollars from people. So remember that when you're like, this guy's kind of mean, this guy's kind of rude. Like, no, I'm not. I'm not asking for anything from you. No one is. But I think it's important to double down, Sam. And this has nothing to do with these projects. Teaching people how to be thorough. Maybe not teaching, showing how or maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not the new promo. It's coming mid-March. Sorry, guys. I just wanted to do that because I had a little head fart. Got like 3 or 4 days antibiotics. Feel kind of shitty on them. But I think once that's done, I'll be 100% ready for the fitness challenge.
Let's real quick. Anybody, if you know somebody on the edge, and if you like are like me who wants to provide value to those around you, start educating them. If somebody were to potentially get into crypto in this moment before Pulsechain launches, remember we got a confirmed tweet from Richard Hart yesterday saying that devs are still saying mid-May. That's about 2.5 weeks away, folks. So if you have a friend or somebody else who's about to get into crypto or on the fence or has some other crypto, but they're just sitting there not doing diddly squat, like this could be an opportunity where they double their bag potential. I'm not saying that they will, but based upon all the feedback I'm getting on the video the other day, I think we're going to have parity relatively soon, my personal opinion. So they have a chance of doubling their bag or getting a 50% increase on their bag when you get copies on both fucking chains. Like this is a very good opportunity.
Thank you for mentioning that. I just was looking at my DMs. It's funny. We have a security professional coming in, John McCoy, a friend of the show. And before we get into Hurricash and talking about some of those concepts within Tornado Cash, Sam, I'd like to have him on the show to be able to kind of like cross-reference because we don't know the other side of it. So I want you to pull up the FAQ page for it's on Hurricash.com. Hurricash.com.
Let me pull it up. Wrong page, like I did earlier with the
Hurricash. And I also want to, let's go to Hurricash.com. Before John comes on, I want to talk about this a little so maybe we can get an idea of what, because this has already occurred. Sacrifice phase already happened, so no one can I don't think do any of that stuff anymore. But I would like to talk about it in an honest way since last night I was drinking and I was talking shit. GRC is never afraid to admit when he was talking ass. Because I'm always talking ass.
How is her spelled? H-E-R?
H-U-R-R.
H-U-R.
R.
Yep.
Hurricash. Hurricash.
Hurricash. See here. There we go. There we go. This is what we're at, I think. This site here, this one we're looking at.
Yeah, so why don't we go over to community or docs? Go to docs.
Oh man, this is going to be dope. Okay, because this has a lot more information.
They have the site here, Sam. I want you to read this slowly and really kind of trying to think about what I haven't read this yet. So read it real quick. I'm going to put my camera off because I have to get fucking phone call. God damn it.
So Hurricash, how I think about Hurricash without much understanding is think of like when a tornado or hurricane goes through a small town and you are unable to distinguish what happened, right? The roof is missing on this house, it's on another house. The car that was in my driveway is now 4 doors down, and the tree here is moved over there, and it is utter chaos, right? So it's very hard to distinguish what is happening from my very elementary understanding of what Hurricash is supposed to be is like that. You put your money in on one side on this address, and what comes out the other side is like a hurricane came through and your shit is just all over the place, and it's very hard for somebody who is doing what's it called when chain analysis, right? It's very hard to distinguish that when you're doing chain analysis, depending on the size of your bag. Like if you're doing a substantial amount of your bag, it's much easier to, tell. But if you're doing relatively small amounts, there's no way to actually track this. This is a protocol on Ethereum that the guy who founded that, whatever his name is, what is that guy's name who started Ethereum, also did. So it's kind of interesting. What's up, Chris? How you doing, man? I see your name on Facebook all the time in the groups. Nor is afraid to talk in the third person. I'm shilling PLSX hex hard on all my IRL socials. People think I've lost my mind. I agree. Everybody who talks to me in the gym doesn't want to fucking hear anything more about crypto at this point. So I get to work out in peace now. It's great. Yo, my next contest or something, you should have the grand prize a day with me. Oh, I love this idea, John May. Come on down to Florida. Take a vacation. You get a vacation. This could be a grand prize, right? If there's $15,000 worth of that could pay for the ticket and then a hotel, and we all go like get a workout in together and hang out for the day, film some content, and do some dope stuff. Maybe get a jet ski or things like that. Okay, what is Hurricash? Let me take that down. What is Hurricash? Hurricash is a fully decentralized, lightweight protocol for private transactions based on the linkable, spontaneously anonymous group. Wow, try to say that fucking fast. Based on the.
Let me read this real quick because I didn't read it at all. What is Hurricash? Hurricash is a fully decentralized, lightweight protocol for private transactions based on the linkable, spontaneously anonymous group, LCAG. That's why I did message Hurricash this morning. I said, whichever one of you guys decided to go on this endeavor, I applaud you. I applaud you. I do. Like as a man, I don't know who this guy is. If he's doing this shit legit, this is complicated as fuck. Because I was trying to reverse think about Tornado Cash. Like, how would someone think about that and do it? It seems very complicated, like compared to something like Maximus and like, stuff like that, which is a little more straightforward. It's fully decentralized, anonymous, without the need of a ZK Snarks off-chain server of additional infrastructure aside from the smart contracts themselves. Hurricash also includes a default relayer option for gasless withdrawals. Whoa, hold on one second. Hurricash also includes a default replayer option for gasless withdrawals. Gonna have to write that down and look back at that. Once launched, it cannot be stopped. Once launched, it cannot be stopped. Meaning what? It's immutable. The goal of Hurricash: private transactions are an essential building block for the vigorous DeFi ecosystem. The blockchain network is still in its very early days and few privacy protocols currently exist. I agree with that. Bradley Lincoln, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. As I say always, your beard looks full of testosterone and vigor. Hurricash hopes to bring this essential need to users and projects across various networks and assist with the preservation of freedom of speech. There is I agree with that. There is currently no token, but in the future we plan to airdrop early users of our protocol. This is important to read, guys. Guys, because we'll remember this. I'll remember this, Hurricash. There is currently no token, but in the future we plan to airdrop early users of our protocol and have it operate and function as a utility and governance token. Very cool. Why the name Hurricash? Our name's cool. Yeah, it's a cool name. I don't need to read that.
Yeah.
Dope ass name. All right, that's cool for that. What do you think, Sam, so far?
I want to know how it actually works. That would be cool. Okay. Ooh, this is a good section. It's not too long. Go ahead.
How it works.
GFC doesn't want to see me continue to stumble through reading these. Go on.
No. It's more so because you have to put your face a lot closer when you read.
Oh, okay.
So you literally
I'm like this
all the way into the thing. So I'm like backing up a little bit. Hurricash is a non-custodial ERC20 privacy solution based on the LCAG algorithm.
Which is, I think, from the previous page.
Yeah. It serves as a second layer of privacy and or alternative to other privacy solutions such as Tornado Cash. It improves transaction privacy by breaking the on-chain link between the recipient and destination addresses. Ooh.
This is what we were just talking about. Yep. When you were not here. When you think about a tornado going through an area, it destroys everything and it's utter chaos. You don't know what took place. Well, if you think of two addresses coming together and just having a baby, this one, implants the baby over here. Well, when you have Tornado Cash in the middle or Hurricane Cash in the middle, right, then nobody gets to see where that money went to because it's all chaos on the other side. So I love this. This is very.
No, that's what I'm saying. So let's stop right there and just talk. You can keep the screen up.
Yep.
But I want to talk thought experiment. So tell me. Not in a money way. I don't care about money. This has nothing to do with money. I'm just learning right now. So in a useful way, why could this be so important? And I'll tell you why for me after you go.
Okay. Well, the first thing comes to mind is somebody who may have nefarious reasons, but the general use case is going to be like, if I have a public address, right? By the way, there's a link on my YouTube channel if you guys want to support.
Go support Sam, you sons of frickin'.
But if you don't have your hashtag or don't have anything, go fucking do something for yourself first before you think about doing anything like that. But the point of it is, I have a public Ethereum address. What does that mean? Well, somebody could infer that there's a Sam has this address, which means that Sam owns this wallet. Which means that if Sam takes this and he sends it here, they can track where you're spending. Do you want?
And it means any wallet that you have in the future connected to that wallet is 100% compromised as far as the public address.
Correct. And anybody can see that. Whereas
you go back and say, hey, this dude has a wallet. Let's look at it. Because even if this was years in the future, if they wanted to come back to this stream or really dig in for whatever reason, they could. At that point, they could. So let's go on from there.
So if I have that public address, right, and I start using that for activity, it would be like me having a bank account and using a debit card, and everybody gets to see what I purchased, where I purchased, what time I purchased it, all of those transactions, even if you're not doing anything nefarious, right? Which is
very anxiety provoking knowing that everyone in this community will know my addresses moving forward for the rest of time.
Not with Hurricash, because you can use
not with Hurricash, but you know what I mean. I'm doxxed 10 times over. I've sent my public addresses to many people at this point. Obviously, I have a couple that are separate, but again,
put that together for people. So I have a public address. So what that means is if I have that public address and say there's some amount of money there that I transfer to this address here, and then I take this and I transfer it over to this address, and then I take this and I sacrifice for this project, and then I take that and I go, they're transferred over here, right? Everybody gets to see what is going on. Now, if you use this, what was that? Literally the sentence before what I have highlighted. It can improve the transaction privacy by breaking the on-chain link between the recipient and the destination.
Tell me about that. How does that? Is that? I guess that's legal. I guess everything's legal in DeFi world if it's possible. So like,
Right.
so this is so fucking amazing. By the way, like, absolutely, I will spend every day of the next fucking years looking into this stuff every day because there's been nothing in my life even nearly, even close. Bodybuilding probably the closest, but bodybuilding's just more so for fun and good time.
Oh, here's a good one. Look at the diagram. Try not to lean forwards. Look, thanks for calling that out. Par excellence. Look at the diagram in the white paper to get a feel for how the anonymous ring protocol works.
Yes, sir. Hey, yes, sir. Any comments like that, we love.
Ooh, look at this.
This is great. Sam's favorite shit, a goddamn flow chart. Let's go.
Okay, let's see if we can understand this without actually reading what was going on. So user
I
1,
love doing
2, 3, 4, and users N, right? Users N just is like a nomenclature.
Then you said nomenclature. And then I'm like, you really lost now. Could you spell nomenclature off your top?
Oh, fuck no. No, like spelling is like at the very bottom of my totem pole of importance. Like, why do you think?
I'm a decent reader. I don't know how that. Maybe it's because I've only read and I'm never on the internet and never anywhere else.
I was homeschooled my whole life. And one of the things that I struggle with tremendous, I probably didn't read till I was like 10 years old. I can ask my mom that question and then like show the screenshot of it. But I probably didn't read till I was like 10 years old.
You didn't like it.
What's that?
Were you like, were you just like, fuck this, or were you just like not good at it for whatever reason?
I just didn't have any idea how to fucking read. I was homeschooled
because you didn't do like were your parents, hate to say anything negative or positive about your parents, we don't have to go into detail. Do you think that they did a killer job, a medium job, or could have done better?
Well, I mean, when I introduce myself today, I think I'm awesome. Like,
you're very awesome.
May not be what other people think all the time, but I think I'm
not
awesome.
asking about you. I'm just asking.
No, but when I think about that, right? If I'm like, okay, cool, I think I'm awesome, and I know that environment and the things around you can have an influence. That's why it's important. If you have toxic friends, family members, partner in your life, figure out how to solve that shit because it's influencing
don't
you.
Figure it out. Get. If you got someone toxic in your life right now, and every single day you talk to them, you're a moron. You might as well be buying Doge and Shiba Inu because your life sucks.
Sam, 10 years old. Were your parents in a cult or nudist colony?
I think that's a legitimate question. There's like a lot of, it's funny. There's a lot of people in the Hex community that have some interesting early days. I don't want to say anyone's stuff specific, but very interesting stuff. It's awesome. Be awesomeness. Yes. Be awesomeness. Everything is awesomeness. I went to public school, one of the best public schools in my area, literally tore the joint up, never did a damn thing. A menace to that high school. Well, other than the fact that I played sports and had a good time, like I was doing mushrooms in school and doing all sorts of shit. Like,
hi, my name is Sam. I think I'm awesome. I have a lot of questions.
My name is Sam. I have some questions for you, Mister. I would love to see like videos of Sam as a little kid, like tugging on somebody's pants. Like, I got a question for you, Mister.
Yeah, so I met my girlfriend. So I gave her my card on the plane, right? And then she reached out to me. I was like, hey, you're pretty, like, let's chat if you're ever in Hawaii. When I used to live in Hawaii. And then she reached out, right? And you could ask her this. When we first started talking, she was like, oh my God, Sam asked me so many fucking questions. Like intimate questions about her job in terms of like understanding the security. And she's like, I can't tell you this stuff. Around the security of the job. I don't know. Well, it was fun. I like learning.
Sam, because you probably talked to so many girls or in the
past, yeah.
Where they don't even know what they do. And you're just like, oh, this sucks. You're like, damn, you don't even know like what you do. Damn, like you're not paying attention at all. Wow. But that's a lot of guys too, right? I don't date guys. So
of course, a lot of people don't know what the fuck they're doing. Or like
90% of people that I've found in my life don't put in the adequate work. Now, almost 100% of the people in my family do put in the adequate work. So it is odd, Sam, when we do talk about genetics, like I hate to break it to you. I have a very intimate understanding of genetics. I have a very, very close relationship with my parents and family, and they're all the fucking same, dude. They're like literally clones of each other. We all work the same way, and we don't act the same way. My brother likes guitar. He hates lifting weights. But he's cracked out about his business. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he loves his shit. He loves his shit. Like, my brother would, just like I would say, like, you know how I say to you every day, there's not another person or place I would rather be in ever than right where I am right now. My brother would say the same thing. You know what I mean? And I don't think a lot of people would say that. And my sister would
Oh,
say the same,
yes.
and my sister would say the same thing too. And so would my dad and my mom. So like, I think maybe as far as genetics, plus my parents were really good parents. Like, they did really good as far as like being nice and kind all the time, and like showing me that being nice and kind was very important. Even though it was a menace. I almost out. My parents I almost gave them a run for their money. Like, you know what I
Oh,
mean? Like,
yes.
Sam, I've
I
never
used
heard
to.
anyone say I used to live in Hawaii. Why leave? Well, I know people that left Hawaii because it's radly expensive when you
Well,
work.
it was more so because the job I had working for I used to work for the government. I had like a secret
You
clearance and
fed. I knew you
did
were the feds.
did cool shit, right? But I worked on top of a mountain, but they don't want me to talk about what I did. But I did finance and accounting up there, and it was I would like go into work at 7, and I would literally be done with work at 9 or 10. I was like, how about you give me GRC's job and that person's job and that person's job? Give me 25% of what they make or 50% of what they make. I guarantee you I'll do it better than them, and I'll still get all my work done, and I'll get all of their fucking work done. Like it was a joke.
And you
For the
won't
government.
complain and bitch and call them in between.
Correct. And it'll be a
Blame it
better
on
quality
them
job.
and say, I'm not trained well enough. This is literally how most people at works are. Like, I used to work at a tower. I used to build cell phone towers for a living, Sam, which is a hard, guys. I'm going to say this exactly the way it's the truth. And all you guys can, that is one of the top 5 hardest jobs in the world. As far as physically, as far as the guys are rough as nails. Like, you know what I mean? If you are educated, you are not a tower climber. Period. End of story. It is the highest paying job, Sam. So what I did at that age, I looked up on the internet. I was completely like, I got kicked out of college, all this shit. Like, I was fucked, and I was like starting from square one, right? So I was like, what can a dude, how can I make the most possible money per hour with no skills whatsoever? And I narrowed it down to like 3 or 4. And like tower climbing was on them. And I'm like a little ninja monkey. I love climbing shit, pull-ups, chin-ups, all sorts of shit my whole life. So I said, F it, I'm going to do it. I was dangling 300 feet with a crane, with power, with a microphone in one hand, with this big metal thing in a crane, like 300 feet in the air. And you have to like crank it in while the crane is like holding it over your head, because it's a big metal piece. You got to crank it in before they let go of it, right? And we're 300 feet up. These guys don't give a fuck if they're dead, alive. Their wives hate them. They have 10 kids each. So it's like, they're just like, surviving. And I'm up here like working, right? Like, oh, we got to get all these fiber, because there's fiber cables. This is complicated. It's kind of complicated, believe it or not. It's funny because what I learned about tower climbing is they're so smart. Some of those guys are so smart. And I was like, these guys aren't educated, but they're smart. I know this because what they're doing here is very complicated at the end of the day. They've just done it for so long that they know exactly how to do it. And it taught me that the education doesn't matter. It like almost, I was like, oh my God, these guys are really smart. These guys are smart as some of the guys I was in college with, but they don't think they're smart. But look what they're doing. They're so smart. So it was kind of like me learning to interpret the world. But yeah, tower climbing, absolutely one of the most rugged jobs you can do in this world. The first day on the job, they strapped a 100-pound antenna to my back and they said, climb up the top of it. And they could have put it on the crane.
Yes.
Like, it was that kind of rough. Like,
yes.
They're like, if you're going to quit, like, you're going
to. You got to fuck with the new guy anyway, too, when it comes in, kind of thing. John May says, it's really hard when you look as good as me. I completely agree. But one of the things about life is that, like, everything's hard, but being human, we get to pick what our heart is. So it's hard being broke. It's hard being rich, right? It's hard having a good relationship. It's hard being healthy. It's hard, like, you pick it.
Fishing. Aaron Ellis, Alaskan fishing. I have seen shows on that. Brutal. Absolutely. What a brutal gig. that will put hair on your chest. Sleeping on a boat in the freezing cold, fishing for like that's hard. They've been doing that since freaking humans were invented, man. I love. There's something really instinctual and natural about like fishing and like shit like that, dangerous work. You know what I mean, Sam?
Yeah.
It's like a guy can kind of relate into that a little bit. Like I was feeling the tower climbing vibe. Like I was spitting on the ground and I was like, you know, I'm a fucking tower climber. I was at the time, dude. I was a fucking tower climber. I was rugged, man. Like I was, because you have to be that way. I had a dude that was 6'5", pin me up against the wall. I remember. And he said, if you ever fuck with me, I will kill you. And I was like, because I called him a fucking idiot. I was like, you're an idiot. And he just grabbed me and I said, I'm never talking shit again. Like I said, period. End of story. I'll never talk shit to this guy again. I realized at that moment, I said,
that's what real life is like.
I was like, yeah, holy shit. I got arrested, kicked out of school. This dude pinning me up against the wall. I have no money. I'm driving from Annapolis an hour and a half to get to this job a day, every day. It's like, oh my God, dude. And now I get to sit here and fucking chat about, it's just a gratitude piece, man. It's just a gratitude piece. You know what I mean? It's just like, I'm so grateful to be here that it's like everything I look at is fun, because I'm like, this is so much better than dangling. Those guys I was working with are still dangling on that tower, Sam. That was a decade ago.
The thing about when I talk to people who have like fitness goals or like financial goals or for their business or their relationship, right? Everybody seems to say like, hey, you know, I want more, say, passion or this, that, and the relationship, or I would like to add another $2,000 a month to my income, or 5,000, or add another zero, right? Or 2 zeros, right? But then you watch them and you talk to them over time, and so few people want to actually change themselves, right? But that's what you need to do to change any of those things, whether it's in your relationship, your mental health, your physical health, your financial health. You got to like change this. Like the only person that's going to get me where I want to go is looking back at me in the mirror every fucking morning. Somebody's mentioning adrenochrome. Should probably not go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, and like I want to show people how badly I want to achieve my goals. So this will give. I could probably, to be honest, I could probably afford a nice car if I really wanted to. Not a nice car, but a normal car, right? My car got smashed. I did have a nice car, by the way. It was a wonderful car, and it got absolutely destroyed. And now look at what kind of situation I'm in. I feel no anxiety about. I'm trying to be transparent so everyone can see where I'm at. In the past, I would have felt anxious about riding around in a beater. I would have. I promise you, Sam. I would have felt like something's wrong with me. You know, like I'm not. I could give a rat's fuck and I will spit in anyone's freaking feet that say anything about it, because it's like, fuck you. I know what I'm doing now. I have purpose. I'm right here, right now. So buying this now was much easier for me. Can you do it for Telegram? Oh, here it is. I am going to try not to dox my shit.
There's also you pull it up. There's a question here from AK. Oh, nice. Bro, I literally, so I used to think similar how you were just mentioning about the maybe anxiety or putting the stress on yourself or feeling bad that I'm driving, a 19-year-old Civic versus like what my friends would be driving. And before purchasing my car, I drove I think it was a 2001 S40 Volvo. Like the door didn't work properly. The windows were shitty as fuck. Like, and I'm making $100,000 and I'm driving that POS because I had just like, hey, I couldn't give 2 fucks what anybody else thinks about me. Working at a bank, people are like, oh, hey, check out this new Mercedes. This I got. Oh, hey, you see this Audi? Like, and people are talking about all that shit, saying, why are you driving this POS? Right?
3,000 cash, man. 3,000 cash for that bad boy. 60,000. 60,000 miles. Stick shift. Done deal. I gave him the. Well, I have to do it. I haven't actually given him the money yet because I have to look at a lot of that stuff. Let me stop sharing. But yeah, I could have gotten a different. Trust me, there was a lot of cars in that lot, and this was one of my best friends, and he was showing me the Xfinity. I mean, all the fucking shit. You know, I went in all of them. I drove a couple of them. And I said, "What's the biggest beater you got? Like, what's the best beater you got?" And he said, "This one." I said, "I'll take it. If I want to get another car, I'll just buy another one." You know what I mean? Like, and then if I don't have enough money to buy another car, I'll just keep this one.
Correct.
It's like that's so, guys. Like,
get an electric bicycle. It's summer coming.
Question: what is the monthly income going to look like with the yield generated by staking? Probably roughly $780,000 per month. every month for the rest of my life.
I was thinking about this yesterday.
Wait, how would you know that though? How would you can't?
That's why
Is he
my
talking
nickname,
about my monthly income, like me?
I'm actually Nostradamus, so like I get to see the future before other people. So that's why I would probably know that.
You kind of getting into that.
Well, I was thinking. So if I'm pulling $100,000 out for the refi in this house, I have the strategy associated with the deployment of that capital, right? You could go put it all into Hex, but then I got to pay the bill for the mortgage, right? I could take a portion of it, put it into stable LPs, and then put the rest of it into Hex. Or what if I split it up into, say, 10 bags of 1,000, 10,000 each, or some variation of that, and then put it all into LP, earning 40 to 60%. Right? If I'm earning 50%, which is very easy to do in multiple different ways, right? On 100 grand, that's 50 grand. That's $4,000 a month. 4,000 peel off 1,000 to pay the mortgage, right? And I'm left with $3,000 a month that I could live off of $3,000 and stop the other shit I'm doing and make a lot more content.
You hear that, guys? You just said that. You could live off of 3,000. Don't let that slide by, because that's alpha. You said you're a grown ass man, and you put yourself in the position as a grown ass man. And I think it's men's job to do this. By the way, I think it's your job to make your overhead low. That's your job. If you don't have So what he's saying is, if he had $3,000 a month and he had to, and he's good to go. That is called surviving properly, getting your time back. He put himself in a position where no one can leverage him. There's not a human that could walk up to Sam and say, you have to do this. And he'd be like, fuck, okay, I have to. Me neither. And you taught me that. You were like, well, you didn't teach me that. You never said the words, but that's just how you were.
Crypto Key, can we quit our day jobs and live off of
your job if you have overhead like me and Sam? If you have overhead like me and Sam, you can quit your job at any moment. So all this quit your job talk, it's never quit your job talk if you really think about it. You know what it really is? It's you spent the last 5 years putting way too much overhead. Your apartment's too expensive. Your car's too cool for your weight class as far as money. This is what I'm saying. And everyone has their own shit, right? I spend too much money on marijuana, in my opinion. So there's stuff like everyone has. Guys, real quick. We talked enough about being a freaking G. I don't know what we were talking about. I talked about I'm buying a beater so I can buy more Hex with my insurance money. Whoops. So guess what, guys? This is how it happened. Let me tell you my ROI, Sam. I got my car smashed into, right? Yes. So that was me at zero. They gave me a $27,000 check. I got 15 grand back from what I owed for the car. So basically I got a 15 grand check, right? I had to pay the lawyer, and then I had to pay $3 grand for the car, $3,300 for the car. So now I have like $6 grand from that insurance check, but I had a great car and now I have a shit car. So I mean, whatever. But like, guys, real quick, I'm going to play a quick little something for everyone while John McCoy gets his makeup in the background. Whoops, slipped it out. Security professional John McCoy in the background. Let's play this quick video, guys. Everyone get your head bump on. Sam, write down a question for Mr. McCoy. And Mr. McCoy, I'd love you to start talking about Hurricash and Tornado Cash with us if you have any insight on those things. That's what I'd love to dive into, guys. It's your boy, DRC. It's Crypto in the Morning. This just got interesting.
John,
John McCoy.
Hey.
how are you? Good. Last time I didn't get to see your face, I think it was blank screen, if I remember correctly.
Yep. I'm coming out
How
of the
often
shell.
do you show your face on lives? Is this a John McCoy reveal, or do you do this on occasion?
Most of the time it's security podcasts and such, but I do public speaking that are recorded. So.
Oh,
Hey,
okay,
man,
cool.
I appreciate you coming on here. What do you know about? Let me throw a couple subjects on you and what I was thinking about, and we'll talk about it. So this whole tornado cash is like new to me, right? Like that's kind of what I've been getting into, right? In my brain. So it's a pretty simple concept as far as like straightforward when you just think about it, right? But the back end of it looks extremely complicated to me. Right? Like it looks like I told the guys in the Hurricash chat, I said, whoever started doing this, as far as going for your dreams, like good job, because this shit is tough, man. It looks like, at least from my perspective. What do you know about Tornado Cash and why do you like it? Maybe some of the problems and just in general, maybe your experience with it. You could also not, obviously, you didn't tell me beforehand whether you knew about this shit.
So Tornado Cash, everyone knows it's a mixer based on zero knowledge proofs. So basically, you kind of complete a puzzle that only you could complete.
What can you talk about zero knowledge proof if you know about it?
I studied it as like a cryptographic like proof, but like
how does it work? How does something like that work? Or is there an analogy in like real life or something that you could kind of like point to give us some very broad level of understanding?
Yeah. So I think it's called the Prince of Persia or something analogy. Okay, so this dude knows there's this cave, and if you know the secret word, you can navigate this cave. And if you go in the wrong, if you typically, okay, so the analogy, there's this cave, and if you know the secret word, you can come out either side. And if you don't know the secret word, you are forced to come out randomly. Okay. And this dude goes to the Sultan and says, hey, I know the secret word. And if he tells the Sultan the secret word, the Sultan will chop his head off. And he's like, well, okay, prove to me you know the secret word. I'm going to send you into the cave and I want you to come out on the left side. And he goes in, comes out on the left side. He goes, okay, I want you to go in and come out on the right side. He goes in and comes out on the right side. And this could be random chance that he just happens to be lucky. And you do this 10, 20, 50 times. And now you have a high probability that he definitely knows the secret word to choose which way to go out. But he doesn't have to disclose the secret word to you, but he can, through a challenge, kind of prove to you that he definitely knows the secret word.
Would it kind of be like when you're describing this in the tunnel kind of thing? I'm thinking of like a snowstorm or like a very foggy night or something where it's dark out, fog is really thick, you can't see what's going on, and somebody is able to say navigate from here to over here, but you can't tell where I am because it's so foggy and it's so dark out, but I'm able to go from point A to point B, wherever it is that I want to go, but nobody else can actually see where I'm at. Is that?
And no one could figure out the secret that you're using to navigate with.
Imagine you lose your iPhone. Someone finds it, but you want to tell him the passcode before he hands it over. But you don't want him knowing your code, so you prove that you know it without revealing. So that would be like a recovery, like, what's your mom's maiden name? Like, like it's almost like, yes, that is my account, but I don't want to say the password or write it down because there's a certain encrypted whatever at some point, I'm sure. Encrypted just numbers that switches up the normal thing. So, but like in general, is the whatever the numbers or the letters that are generated, can the people within Tornado Cash see things?
So theoretically, and this is very theoretically, no one can figure out what your secret is or what secret is tied to what money coming in and out. This is with a big caveat. like you put in $10 billion and the pool only has $100 in it, they can definitely figure out who the 10 billion is.
So critical mass can give up your position just due to there's only a few people with critical mass. Therefore, they can just say only one person would have been on this server. It's probably these two guys. And they'll just assume it's one of these 5 guys because only, just like in Hex, if somebody stakes 200 million, probably we're going to know who it is.
Yeah. Well, and also you can look at, there's all sorts of metadata that can like infer who the person is. So like say the time, so they pull money out and they keep pulling money out at 120,000 increments and they pull it out at a certain time. Nice. So if they pull it out with the same increments and the same timing, all of your transactions are going through node on-ramps that have your IP. But so far in the field, lots of police cases have been able to cite these people went through Tornado Cash. Here's the proof that got them shown through Tornado Cash.
So can you, so this is awesome because I've talked to several people about Dandelion++, and nobody has any idea what it is, but I read through the white paper and now it sounds like I don't know what it is either. Well, it's according to the white paper, it says that it's a lightweight protocol for, there's, I guess, 2 layers, like there's the blockchain layer of where information is, and then there's a node that sends it to the blockchain. And what you just mentioned about basically kind of trying to triangulate where somebody is based upon where the signal comes into the node, and then how that proliferates outwards. It's fucking with that in a way to try to make it the attack surface for somebody to try to triangulate that very, very large, so that it's challenging for people to figure out where that actually came from. From my, like when I read through the paper, that seemed to be how I understood it. Because can you talk about like node security? Because we talked about VPNs before, but
sure,
yeah,
like
relative to the whole piece of like Tornado Cash, right, can kind of protect it, but there's also the attack vector, or at least potential of where you're going into the node.
Sure. So say you use MetaMask. MetaMask defaults to Infura as your node on-ramp to talk to Ethereum. And in MetaMask and Infura are owned by Consensus, which is JP Morgan, and they seem to behave as a financial institution. Typically, they record all financial transactions and the metadata and fingerprint of the person doing the transaction. So Infura should have your IP of all of your MetaMask transactions. So you do your zero knowledge proof, but you send it over MetaMask, and they have a fingerprint on the Infura servers that on-ramp you to Ethereum. So I mean, and trying to hide is very hard and doubly hard when you have blockchain. Like I don't know. You're better off if you use Tornado Cash. You will be targeted and tracked. There's lots of better ways to try and move and sanitize your money than Tornado Cash.
Please enlighten us.
First of all, absolutely. I like to highlight statements that are important to me, because I like to highlight statements that are said that most people don't say because they don't have the insight to even bring it up. And they're like the questions that I'm looking to have answered half the time. So that's the big thing, right? People hear Tornado Cash and anyone says it's good, right? And they immediately think that's the place you want to go to have some sort of security within the transactional. But I've always been thinking in my head personally, even if you didn't use a protocol whatsoever, but you're very smart about what you're doing, right? Like since I got rugged, I've been very proactive, right? Like trying to figure stuff out, move, spread it out, mess around. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I have all these accounts. No one's attached to them now. I could just keep those on that computer and then just never fuck with them, ever. And as far as other than yield farming and stuff, but I have accounts that are already exposed and I'll just do my public shit on them, right? Like that's pretty much how it goes, Sam. Sam, do you kind of see like how you can just like, if you really were proactive at this moment forward, Sam, if Sam was like, I want no one to know my public addy, you could be absolutely proactive, make 3 accounts, make one of them the one you interact with people, have the one up front where you've never sent anything out of it. You've only brought into it, but I don't know.
So John, can you, so say if somebody's getting in, right? So somebody transfers to Coinbase. So then you go to a MetaMask, according to you, what your comments were a minute ago, if somebody goes to MetaMask, then first of all, Coinbase is going to know where you send your shit. Then second of all, MetaMask is probably tracking your shit. So you had mentioned or alluded to that there could be more thoughtful or better preventative measures than using Tornado Cash or Hurricash or whatever that was called. Can you talk about those?
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, yeah, everyone has your identity when you're onboarding and you're sending cash in. And you slice out like who you're talking about. So like a local drug dealer down the street doesn't have access to Coinbase, but assuming they have all the records to Coinbase. And okay, let's say you ended up with $500 million of some coin in your wallet, right? You send it to Tornado Cash and now you're watched. Or some of the other things, there's obviously buying overpriced assets from wallets, so they just happen to win. You're looking at, I mean, different assets. NFTs are an interesting play. Liquidity pairing, where you happen to lose on a statistically high basis to another one of your wallets. So do you know how induction coils for like wireless cell phones work? So it creates a magnetic field, and then you have two antennas. One creates a magnetic field and the other benefits from this magnetic field and turns that back into electricity. And so let's say me and you made a liquidity pair of some made up coins, and you started throwing mad amounts of ETH into it. And you just kept hemorrhaging mad amounts of ETH into this liquidity pool. And I happen to be the other party in that liquidity pool. And I happen to keep drawing mad amounts of liquidity out. And you just happen to keep making wrong bets as this fluctuation flies out 100x over and over again. You can.
So say there's like ETH and XYZ token. Okay. So ETH and XYZ token, I put those up there with this address as LP. And then from this angle, I come in and I start to purchase XYZ, or I start to sell XYZ to purchase this. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Say it unbalances 100 to 1, right? And then with your Phiat wallet, you happen to take the losing side of that bet. And then it rebalances. And with your new wallet, you pull out a very substantial amount. And then it unbalances. And then you
do it over back and forth several times.
Yeah.
This is why I'm really glad you're on. This is awesome.
And I don't recommend any of these things.
No. But it's a very interesting insight. Okay, so LP,
I call it an induction attack or something. Induction farming. You're basically inducing money to flow. You're not transferring it. At no point is there a transfer between these two entities. Yeah.
So and you'd have to probably pick some like very obscure token, I would think.
Oh, there's so many shit coins. Imagine what happens if you put $500 million buy in on some shit coin. And it's like you just pump and dump on yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta run through the numbers on this on like a spreadsheet for myself, just because I'm like, oh man, this is fascinating stuff. Okay, so the LP induction or like, because you're not really, you're doing two separate things, but that makes perfect sense. Okay. And that was one way. I think you had briefly mentioned there might be another way. I think you said it before you got into this, or maybe you were just leading into this.
So you could produce a piece of artwork and buy it from your other entity. You could take long bets on some.
Okay, wait. Let's do this one at a time because I want to hear about each one of these in detail. Yes, I am taking notes. Okay, so let's talk, because this is how people do it in the real world that people don't realize with the art, right? I mean, Hunter Biden, right? Oops, sorry, did I say that out loud?
What you're talking about? I have no knowledge of this.
Yeah, right. This is let's see, copycat shit over here that works for people laundering money. Let's try that in the DeFi space, right? But okay. And we're not recommending anybody do any of the things. This is just strictly for entertainment.
Or maybe someone wants to do this for safety. Like Maybe they're in some town where it's like you get your hand chopped off for gambling with crypto, and it's like, well, here's how you hide. I mean, sure.
Okay, so can you talk about that, right? So I've got a large bag that is exposed in some way to eyeballs in some fashion, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now I go through and I commission or I create personally a piece of artwork that I purchase, for if it's $100 million, and I purchase this for $100 million, and that transfers that over here and gets it out of one wallet to another wallet.
And you could do it with a shit coin. You could do it with a new dog token, super hot. Yeah. You could. I forget. There's some platforms where you can basically buy and sell like liquidity bonds kind of thing. There's so well.
I'm just taking notes as you go ahead. But go ahead.
Yeah. So if you look at the Robin Hood effect, also, you could just help a general audience. So if you say you really didn't want that tied to you, you could take out a large amount of hex stakes and cancel them 50% of the way through and give that interest out. And you could do that with any percentage of the hex stake that you want. You could open a 555 with $100 million in it and then immediately close it.
But then you're just okay. But that's the goodwill play. Is that right, kind of thing?
You may or may not be in that audience.
But it would go to you'd be one player in that audience. So if you had 90% of it, then it would make sense.
But think about that anonymity difference, where in this induction play between two wallets, you have a 1-to-1 correlation.
So wait, when you said induction, I'm thinking back to LP. You said LP, you can put the pair together and then you trade through the pair to siphon it off, right? So are you referencing the LP siphoning thing when you're talking? Okay.
Yeah. So you could look at the blockchain and say this wallet, the money came in, this wallet is where the money flowed to. And so you have a 1-to-1 correlation. If you had a 1-to-10, 1-to-100, and then all the way on the other side, you have hex, where you have 35,000 stakers that are benefiting. You may be one of the 35,000. And so as that number goes up higher, so the more participants in this game, the more anonymous you are.
But then you lose more of your bag. But you're basically paying for that anonymity, right? Kind of. Is that one way to think about it?
If you had way too much crypto, you might choose to do such a thing.
Interesting. Okay, so we have. I'm going to write this down. The hex example, and the EES, and then we have the art, the transfer the value, and the LP induction ciphering thing. You were about to mention a third one or maybe that was the hex one before I interrupted you. So you were saying the art transfer with the NFT thing as a potential way. Did you touch on it with the hex example, or was there another way you were talking?
I can't really think of it now, but there should be some sort of a default where like you could open like a fat loan or something and default it, but it's pretty much like the hex thing. Like you're just hemorrhaging to an unknown large pool on the other side. So you could take out a rather large loan on a shit coin that you happen to be a heavy counterparty on, and then default the loan. And I don't know. Anyways, yeah, theoretically there should be something with loan defaulting also. But
okay.
Hey guys, if you have not already, share this stream out. We're an hour 30, and I'm going to stay on for a bit. Really good information. We're diving into a lot of good subjects. Moving.
Your audio is like choppy.
Fuck me.
But we heard retweet the stream. So.
We did retweet the stream, even though it was choppy. You guys press the like button. John is dropping some awesome stuff here. So that's great. Yeah. So why, right? If somebody has a large bag, it's pretty understandable why that could be tracked through some type of on-chain analysis using Tornado Cash, right?
Oh, yeah.
Makes sense. Would it be if somebody has $20 million bag that you move for whatever reason, and somebody's like, how could I do this in an anonymous way, like splitting it so that you're using 5 million on Tornado Cash over the course of some period of time, so that it's split into smaller bits. 5 million with LP induction method, and 5 million with the ARP transfer. Like that way, it's kind of dispersed. Like if somebody was like really, really trying to be anonymous in this way, because they're probably, I would think, not going to take one approach all the time. They're probably going to take several different approaches.
Yeah, diversity is good, and it depends who's on the counterparty. Like if you're going through a messy divorce, is very different than you just stole $500 million from the wrong people. Like you're going to go through different layers, and you're going to take different chops off the top for it. Like, yeah. So
it's almost like and then I want to touch on Soul's question. So it's almost like when people have a 5-finger discount on shit, they do a fire sale, right? And that's what you're doing in crypto to effectively wash your shit. Whatever verbiage you want to use, you know what I mean, to have anonymity.
Yeah.
Okay, Soul asks, how's
my audio now?
Fantastic.
Good. Okay. Soul asks, how do people hack flash loans? Guys, do you have an answer for that? I could not. Go ahead, John.
So a flash loan is basically a single block where you're going to get access to large amounts of liquidity. So imagine you were super rich and you were just an asshole and you wanted to screw over a chain. I forget it. Beanstalk or something, I think, was the last one. But they had a voting system, and it allowed you to nice. Beanstalk allowed you to vote in your liquidity. It basically let you vote in your nodes of voting. So it was like a representational government. And they took out a giant loan from Flash Loans and voted themselves in as the deciding party in Beanstalk. So basically, whoever has the most Beanstalk coins, I didn't read through this, so take it with a grain of salt. They voted in. They had the most voting shares because they were they basically bought like $100 million of Beanstalk, and then they used that to vote that they should steal all of the money. And then they took their Beanstalk tokens and sold them back to whoever they loaned them from. And so it's
so what they're saying is basically if you have enough economic mass, you can just use the system to your advantage, get everyone long, and then wreck it. Just because you have so much influence within the system, because you have so much of the mass. And if there is a governance part of it at all where you're voting, right, and you have most of the critical mass, that means you have most of the vote share, right? Usually.
Also, people have used this to dump on coins and sell their price to zero. And the interesting thing is you're taking out a drastic amount of leverage, but it has to be paid back in one block. And so it basically, you borrow it, you sell it, it changes the price in this block is now changed. Liquidations happen. You capture the liquidations, then you pay back the loan all in one block transaction. And
so this is done by a very sophisticated person, but like with a bot, I would assume, to get it done fast enough.
Well, but that's what a flash loan is. It's basically a loan that happens in one.
Okay.
And that's why it's flash.
Gotcha.
And the person loaning it to you doesn't really have any outsized risk because at the end of the block, all of their coin is returned to them. And if all their coin isn't returned, then the contract fails.
But they just say we're able to extract a shitload of value through that process.
Well, so I'm going to take out 10 million Beanstalk. And if at the end I return 10 million Beanstalk, then it succeeds. If at the end I don't return 10 million Beanstalk, then the whole thing fails and I never did it. And I just pay the gas for how far it got in there.
So can you explain that again? So somebody pulls out 10 million Beanstalk, right?
Yes.
And then through the process of doing that.
Yeah. So one block has a whole bunch of transactions in it. And I'm going to do one transaction, borrow 10 million. I'm going to do one transaction, vote for myself. I'm going to do another transaction, steal all the money. I'm going to do another transaction, unstake the Beanstalk token, another transaction of return it to whoever loaned it to me. And that's all within inside of one block and one contract. And so I can basically borrow that. And maybe I use $10,000 to borrow that million Beanstalk tokens for one transaction. Yeah.
Wow. And the reward can be. So how does that, what are things that people do to prevent that stuff? Or like mitigate that risk?
Sam, the OA address and stuff like that. Where's all the critical mass, right? Like where's all the mass, Sam, in the hex system? Who's got it all?
Yeah, Richard.
No, the OA address has it all. We talk in very specific terms here. The OA address is not necessarily Richard, but it is the OA address. So, but if anything happens, they have the most of it, so they can make sure. Worst comes to worst, yeah, the price will probably get wrecked for a little while, but like if there's an attack, they can't nuke the whole system inside out because they can't have large enough piece of the pie to do so. That's why people are like, why does this one account have 60% of the coins, 40% of the coins, 80% of the coins? It's to protect your ass, you dumbass. Like a lot of the time, centralized ownership is a lot of the time beneficial because it just protects. If the person's doing the right thing, if he's not, then you're wrecked. So, it's like if you trust Richard Hart to say what he said so far and to continue moving forward like that, then that's what the OA is for. The OA is to protect the system.
And
go ahead.
Oh, an example of an OA protection is EOS had a voting system to vote in their block producers, and people came in and voted all of their block producers to be a very small group in Asia, in China. And like the community could just not do anything about it. And they just came in and outvoted the community. And it's like, well, you could come and do that, but the OA might have something to say about that. And so it's like, it's nice to have a rebalancing system where like, if someone comes and does it, then the system can respond and be like, no. And with these flash loan attacks, it's almost evolutionarily that like that's where the time weighted average for like 30 minutes started coming from, where it's like before we had like the time weighted average in one block. And so now it's like you have to move it farther for longer on multiple
blocks.
Yeah. And so it's just like once these flash loan attacks started happening, people started building their systems against it. And if you don't, your shit gets stolen.
Can you explain the time weighted average? Somebody else said it in the wrench time weighted average, because a lot of people are going to hear this term, and a lot of your people are going to hear time weighted average, and they're going to be like, oh my god, this is like fucking medical terms that I have no idea what it means. So can you touch on that a little bit?
Sure. I mean, obviously Richard would do it better. So I think that it's just taking multiple samples over the time. So like say you took all of these candles and then you found like the middle point to all of them, then that would be that price over this time. And so it's like you take a hour sample, you add them all together, you find the middle. Okay.
Instead of doing it over one block where that allows this thing to happen, which you were just talking about, this flash loan, because the average might just be the beginning point and the end point of a block, which is a certain amount of time. You just spread that out, so it makes that. I would think it reduces the risk of this type of thing happening because it has to like match in some way or that something like along those lines or whatever the case is. Would that be?
Yeah, and it kind of pulls out a little of the noise from the signal kind of thing, where it's like those aberrant spikes just kind of disappear when you switch to larger candles. Yeah.
Okay. GRC pulled up the hex chart here. Do you want to say hi to that dude real quick? Alan, Fizz, Ahmed. What is up? Thank you.
Alan Fizz, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Cream Finance got flashed for 130 million beans last year. Man, and that happens oh so often. And Sam, once you get a little bit more into crypto Twitter, which you're getting into quick, you'll find all these accounts that like say all these rug pulls and shit, and you can like get a better idea like how often they actually occur, because they really do occur if you look hard enough. Like if you look at the amount of projects we're looking at for Pulsechain, there's the same amount of projects that are rugging every single day So it's just, that's why when I say things negatively, skeptically, where's the code? What's this? Because you're almost liable at some point for people's money if you're just flashing this people's shit all over the place. You know what I mean? But all that being said, guys, if you look here, we broke a nice little resistance point. I mean, we're talking, if we can get up to.
Your audio's a little choppy again.
Fuck me in the freaking turd. Fuck.
It was getting better there at the end, but it looks like he was mentioning that the chart is going up and to the right, which is generally a positive thing for people who are long or bullish, right? John,
Jordan Heck, fucking get wrecked.
John, what Hex, right?
How's the audio? Just so I know.
Good.
I was just pointing out. I was just pointing out that the chart is definitely breaking a little resistance right now. I wouldn't say anything crazy about it. It could be a total fake pump, but guys, Hex can go nuclear at any moment when the guys decide. I feel like when those guys decide they want it to go, they can go, but they're waiting for the best deal, and maybe they think the bottom's in.
Well, here's a thought experiment, because we just got the second confirmation from Richard that mid-May is launch, right? Yes, could be pushed out, right? So if you're a whale, if you have any money involved and you are understanding what is going on even slightly, you're like, okay, which ERC20 is probably going to hold parity or hit parity first? Meaning, if I have any cash in ERC20s, I would like to double my bag with that, right? If I could double my bag like that in 20 seconds, cool. If I could double my bag like that over 30 minutes or 30 days, that's cool. Where with these other ones, you're not as sure about. But with Hex, I think parity comes much sooner based on like the stuff I was talking about in the video on my channel the other day. So if I would personally believe between now and launch, we're going to see a run up in Hex price. I would see, because people are going to be like, hey, let me get out of this other shit thing that I'm in and put it into Hex because they want to double on their bag quickly. And then after launch, I bet we see a sell-off in Hex because people are going to transfer over and get out of what they got their double. And they're like, okay, cool, I'm done on this side or whatever the case is. But I bet we see a run up in Hex price. What do you think about that? What am I missing, John, in that thought?
If people sell their Hex, that makes it cheaper to buy up. I don't know. It behooves an engineer to design a system where people don't game the system. So if someone is trying to wait till they hear that the time fork is happening, a good engineer would make sure that they can't game the system. So if someone's waiting to game and drop in right before, then hopefully the engineers find a way to fuck them over. Make sure, like, by the time you hear about it, the fork snapshot's already happened.
So did you hear Richard Hart's live stream the other day where he mentioned that he's going to give a notice or something? He's going to let people know when that snapshot's happening?
If I was playing basketball, I would guarantee you I'm going to tell you before I switch directions. Like, I hope an engineer finds a way to fuck over people that are just trying to make money and snatch bags. Like, I don't know.
I think Richard's goal is to maybe not ruin some people, but to put people in a very he wants the people to be that are in the Hex system to have the most benefits of the system as fast. Is my mic fucked?
You're good.
Don't be playing with your heads now. I get confused now. I'm paranoid now. But yeah, so I think that
he wants the ecosystem.
He wants the ecosystem, but he's mentioned it a million times that he's going to make it hard or advantageous. Is that the word? Advantageous. He's going to make it advantageous for those guys to do what they want to do immediately. And he's thinking about that. He let us know that he was thinking about that in some way, which is if Richard's going at that, you know, in a smart way, like it's going to be hard to predict. A lot of this stuff is hard to predict anyway. And then if you throw one factor into it that throws one thing off, and then the whole thing that you were thinking before is switched up. It's like quick.
And have no expectations.
I have major expectations for PulseX and Pulsechain. Apps, I have nuclear expectations, and so does everyone in here. But at the same time, they're not necessarily price predictions, right? Like, I'm not predicting price. I'm predicting awesome transaction speeds. I'm predicting staking however long I want. That's what I'm predicting. It's not necessarily like, I don't know how many people are going to buy Pulse fucking chain, dude. It's not my job. I don't know jack shit. All I know is way better than Ethereum, and that shit's wrecked, and I can't use it because I'm priced out basically, unless the GUI is real good.
I wanted to touch back on the Tornado Cash for a minute. If somebody has, because most people listening are going to be people who have smaller bags, right? Well, maybe that's just my POV because that's where I'm at, right? But I'm assuming that a lot of people are also in that boat. With a small bag, using Tornado Cash is you don't have anything to be concerned about from an anonymity standpoint, or
not on the anonymity standpoint, but if you're talking about like some places started flagging coins that came from Tornado Cash and saying that they're not going to honor them, and like basically, so like all right, so when the police come after someone and they're looking for probable cause, they can throw some weird things in probable cause. They can throw using a VPN. They can throw using Tornado Cash, like that it's probable cause. And so it's like they can basically say only criminals use Tornado Cash. So you use Tornado Cash, so ergo you're probably a criminal. And then you try to send that money to Coinbase, and Coinbase is like, we got a flag on your account. Like, we're going to need to go through all of your shit knee deep with proof before we're going to let you touch any of it. So like, I mean, it's a balance, and it's good that some people use it. And there's good that some people use it for fun, and there's some people that use it for whatever. And it's like, diversity is good.
I'd like to detach my accounts, some of them that have lots of stakes, from everyone's fucking eyeballs. Just in the future, not necessarily now. I don't really care. Like, people look at it, but like in 5 years, it'd be nice if like my shit was private.
Yeah.
In a way, because I don't want to get my head chopped off.
What are your thoughts on the probabilities of some of those things mentioned? Because I still can't remember the guy's name for Ethereum. Who's the spokesperson? Who's like the Vitalik? He uses Tornado Cash, right?
Yep.
So
he uses Tornado Cash when he dumps his Ethereum.
No, I looked at one of his transactions, and I was like, the first and only transaction I've ever looked at on Etherscan was his wallet and one of his transactions, and he used Tornado Cash. That's why I say it. And so if you have somebody that's that high profile, like utilizing it for something, right? Because you got to look at risks, and then you.
Well, those guys have so much security needed, I'm sure, and you know what I mean. Like those big accounts, like they're probably going to do everything possible, since they have the money to do whatever, to make sure as little people know where things are going to and fro, because these guys, they dump their bags, and they don't love every Ethereum user knowing they're dumping their bags. You know what I mean? So there was a time where people were talking, this was way, way back, and I don't know the specifics because I was so new, but everyone was mentioning at the time that Vitalik was dumping his bags, and it was like a little bit of news at that moment. Do you have any insight on that? Like where is that zone between like a founder dumping his own coin and making the price go down, but he's not public like Richard Hart? He just goes on like big shit. Like he's not like talking about the micro too much. But what do you think about that?
I think like if he was picking up a coin, he wouldn't want all of the FUD that would come out. Like he wanted to jump in on Pulse. He definitely would not want that like front page. If he wanted to go into Sheeb or whatever, just to have it, like you said, there's lots of eyes on him. And it's like he wanted to fund a startup group to do news or to do analytics. Then he could wash the money without that group having the eyes of him funding them on them. Like,
so those risks you mentioned are definitely risks, but it sounds like if you look at the broader picture, they tend to be a lower probability, but still risks, but of actually happening, like in terms of using it as probable cause or being red flagged, so to speak, in that kind of sense.
Yeah. I mean, diversity is good. I'm glad people do whatever. Like, I mean, there's a bunch of people, like, if they do those flash loan attacks and they have a whole bunch of money, like, if I had any advice, it would be give that money back to the community and spread that money out across thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And you have much better chances of nothing coming back on you than if you just sent it all to yourself. But
is using a VPN really enough?
I don't think so from what I've learned, and I have been looking into this a little bit. So what I've learned, and I just want clarification so I can know more. I learned that the servers, no matter what server they are, they do lag in VPN. There's moments of lag within them. And like, that's what I heard. Like, there's moments of lags within the VPN. Yeah, it's good for your security as far as your VPN overall. But like, if someone wanted to micromanage you and just like see your IP address, like they could.
Can you talk to this point, John?
So the best a major VPN service is the Tor network, and it jumps you through 7 hops of unknown routing. And there are papers and researchers that have shown that you can de-anonymize someone to their IP region by using the time and lag and latency and to figure out approximately in the world where they are through 7 different hops. So that's like 7 VPNs chained together that I could still tell someone is in Chicago area on the other side of this.
Could you?
Now, if you're super rich, could that be a problem?
For the what?
Like, you know, I think when we're talking more so about people that have a little more status, a little more risk. So like, as far as someone, what the question kind of is alluding to is for someone that needs to be in that position where they're anonymous, a VPN alone you could still have attack vectors for certain.
Oh, tons. I mean, your computer still has a fingerprint. And so like your browser, your latency, your OS, your plugins, that's one of the nice things about the Tor browser. It anonymizes your fingerprint.
So you could use so when our barn there mentions that, so you could use the Tor VPN with like the Tor browser to reduce risk. Can you stack VPN? So you use the Tor VPN, and then on top of that, you use another VPN, or you use like a traditional type of VPN stacked with another one, or is that something that's not possible, or would be like foolish?
You could use the Tor onion routing VPN, the dark net, whatever. You could take that to a classical corporate VPN that you pay to and go through them. You could take that up to a AWS VPN, which is just like a proxy in AWS, and you could run it through your own AWS endpoint VPN. Yeah, you could, but it's not going to secure you anymore. Like,
so how would somebody increase the security? Like what? If that was something that was, because that's what, whoops, sorry, I hit that comment for a second, but that's what they were saying it seems to kind of get across here. Is a VPN enough, or is like, what would be like the next step somebody could do in a practical sense to increase their security or privacy?
And before you answer that, I want to mention this because RH T-Bird says RH would know how to harness Tornado on a super advanced tech level. Don't use a tool like Tornado unless you know all implications and you know what you're doing. I totally agree with that. I have no plans on using this anytime soon. I have plans on learning this, and that is it. I don't really care that much at the moment, but it's interesting moving forward. Let's say I become a public figure of some sort and I keep streaming every day for the rest of my life. I would like to have more privacy options and not have to dig into that so much then, rather than just dig into it now while I have the time. But yeah, I think it's important, guys. These tools are like, you know, very sophisticated at some level. Like we're getting into the weeds a little bit, so to speak.
And so some strategies at a high level. Let's say you went through going out. Let's say you used an exchange in Europe and you're a European citizen. You use that exchange, you throw money in there, you move that out to your own wallet, and you have just like one transaction that fills up a few wallets. You come back to that exchange and you file a right to be forgotten. So they'll delete your data after so long, supposedly. And so some hacker breaches them a year from now. They don't have your records. if anyone does blockchain analysis, they just see the exchange filled up these wallets, and you're effectively fairly good. And this is against kind of who your adversary is. If you're going up against a dealer down the street versus a government, the dealer isn't going to go to an exchange and get records probably. So
could you, in that example, so exchange to wallet, whether over there's different rules where you can file that. I don't know if that's available here, but so Coinbase or some US exchange going to your wallet, and then before this funds any other wallets, it goes through Tornado Cash.
No.
Not worth it.
Not worth it. I mean, it's yet again against your adversary. Like if you stole $500 million from the wrong people, then yeah, you want to do all this crazy shit. If you're talking about you don't want people on YouTube to know your bags, you go to an exchange, you send it out, and yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to be really, really secure, invest in Doge. No one will steal your shit.
Oh, that's
I think Doge, I'd rather buy Doge than Bitcoin right now.
Oh.
I would if you had my money and I had none left. If I had $0 and someone said next bull run, which one you want? I say, give me the Doge, baby, because I'll take more than the 2x any day. I'll be ready. I'll put a limit order on that sell. Can you sell? Can you sell on a limit order too? I've never done that.
Yeah, I think so.
I've only bought. I've never sold. That's funny. I don't even know about selling.
I would think you can. Hexacat asks, I believe they're still able to figure out where coins went after going through Tornado Cash. That couple that got busted in New York City might have been using Tornado Cash or Tornado, but I forgot where I read that. Did you see that or have any thoughts on that? Is it just relative to the size of somebody's bag if somebody can track your shit?
Well, I mean, if someone was watching and they wanted to read up on it, they would read up on hidden Markov chain analysis, and that you can try to de-anonymize random behaviors that are statistically correlated, but practically no.
That makes total sense to me, though. That's totally the way I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
No, it does. It does. It makes total sense to me because at some level there is a pattern, right? Like people go from here, they say, whoops, I made a boo-boo and rugged everyone. I want to do this, switch it over here, go here. And then it's like, wow, 150 people just did the same thing. Let's look at what 100 of them did exactly the same. And then let's look at, or whatever, you can start adding it up. But I think at the end of the day, small bags are basically untraceable. It's just the big bags, just by size and volume, that they can be traceable because there's just not that many huge bags going to and fro.
So you if you want to play it like what, obviously these are just all like conjecture games we're playing right now, right? But so if somebody was like, okay, I need to do something with a large bag, they almost need to, before they do anything, if they're going to pick one of these like 3 or 4 strategies or one of them, even just in the implementation of any one of these, they almost need to apply like a random algorithm to the timing, and they have to cut their bag down to a certain percent and then use that as like randomize their action. So these are the possible actions that I have to choose from. Let me put that in a randomizer on Excel or something, and it's going to pick one of 4 options that I have, and then I take the associated action with that. And then you also, over a 10-day period, right, or whatever the case is, put in something random there to almost apply a level of randomness to the level of action, so that there's not a systematic way of looking at like, hey, this happens every single day type of thing. And then increase. Go ahead, please.
Did you? So that couple that got popped in New York. So you have something, I forget what they call it, but there's like a term. It's like backwards evidence or side loading evidence or something. But basically, like, I go and catch someone like that couple, and I know who they are through means that I can't disclose. And then I come to you and I say, if you look at this couple, if you look at these accounts, if you put a warrant in for this cloud storage, you'll find what you're looking for. And then once you find those seeds in those bags, you can trace them back to the Tornado Cash. And so it's like if you start at the other end, you can be like, oh, they went through Tornado Cash, and you can show this evidence going forward, and then you can go to court and show it going forward, and you just happen to find it.
So you're just picking the second half of the equation. The second half of the equation, and then leaving backwards out the other side. Go ahead, Jared.
Quick, I want to read this article. Where do you want me to start? What's it called? I want to see what the title is. Oh, let's read right here. This ether is now being laundered through Tornado Cash, a smart contract-based mixer used to obscure the blockchain money trail. Close to 20 million of the stolen assets have been sent to Tornado. As of the last update of this article, exchanges and other crypto service providers should be on the alert for large deposits that originate from Tornado Cash. This is the second time in 10 months that Liquid has been the victim of a hack. In November 2020, someone gained access to the firm's document storage infrastructure, but no funds were stolen. So basically, Tornado Cash is a red flag. When I think of Tornado Cash, I think of people are just trying to make sure in any way possible that you can't trace their stuff, so they're going to try stuff. But at the end of the day, Tornado Cash is a red flag in its own.
Right.
So it's like it puts you on a radar too. Like, why are you?
And somebody who uses Tornado Cash is probably, I mean, I wouldn't send it to an exchange personally. Like, there's no fucking way I would send that shit there. I'd figure out a different way to use that. It's like, hey, there might have been this thing that happened, and then I'm going to go back to the store that it came from. Like, that's just stupid. Like, I don't know.
Key point: don't hack crypto exchanges and steal billions of dollars. And won't be watching as close, huh? Yeah, guys, don't steal. Don't do anything bad. Sam, I'm surprised you're still on here right now.
I gotta go. I was just waiting for the perfect time to go. This is a perfect opportunity. John, I love chatting with you. I love all the cool stuff that you were mentioning. I took some notes on that I need to do more research on for educational purposes. So this is awesome. Thank you for your time. I don't know if GRC is going to stay on longer. Anybody who's
I'm going to go to the gym, guys. I might be on later, though.
And
anybody who
real quick, expect Tornado Cash to get broken in 50 years. They'll figure out what happened today. So,
and we'll be so far ahead of them at that point, you won't even be concerned. Because
any thoughts on Hurricash, real quick, John McCoy? Any thoughts on Hurricash? Do you know anything about Hurricash?
I think it's just based on the same code. I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see, guys. I'm looking into it right now. I want to know. GRC wants to know. And I guess what? Whatever those guys say about me fudding, I lit up that Telegram group like a Christmas tree. I can promise you that. And I came in there and I said I was sorry. So I think that I covered my side of the road. And I want to learn more about the project because I like the concept. I think it's interesting, honestly. It's just an interesting concept because in the world of hacking, scamming, like learning all this stuff makes you more it just makes things way more predictable, easier to understand. Like, the first day that I learned that the dude that got me sent the shit to the Lightning Network and then Tornado Cash, I was like, what the fuck is all this shit? Like, what the fuck? Like, you just like can't, I thought Coinbase and then you looked at. So the more you learn about separate exchanges, crypto in general, the overall ethos of this channel is to continue to learn every single day. And we're just going to do a large chunk of that for you by doing our research and presenting it to everyone and doing research on the show as we go. Sam Stolt, John McCoy, thank you so much. If you have not followed Sam Stolt, everything is in the description below. Don't follow his Twitter necessarily. He's not super active. But
if you want to follow a really good stream on Twitter, definitely follow mine. GRC just posts garbage. It's kind of like FUD perpetually. Or John. John also has some fantastic stuff on Twitter. So you can follow John McCoy on Twitter or Sam Stolt. Sam A. Stolt. There's a space or underscore between those two. And we got a lot of stuff coming. John, thank you for your time. Appreciate you guys. And I have also a video coming out later today on a topic related to crypto.
What's the topic?
People can let me know. There's a lot of different things I have on my list. And then John just gave me 5 more topics to dig into. So I haven't picked the topic yet, but it will be really, really good if you enjoy that deep dive.
All right. Make sure you check his video later. I'll retweet it for sure. Remember that TikTok where you said, "What's a pleb?"
Yes.
I was just thinking about that because you just said, "Oh, you're causing all this FUD." It's funny to see. It's funny to see grown men say like spooky swap and like what was that thing you guys were saying earlier over and over again? That funny word. It was like some crypto. I had no idea what y'all were talking about.
Polka dot.
No.
Green bean or something like
Green
that.
bean. I was like, now they're talking. I went to the bathroom. Y'all were talking about green bean when I got back. I was like, I'm just let this one slide. But guys, thank you so much. I'm going to take you guys off just so I can do the commercial and stuff. John, I'd love to get on with you again soon. You know I'm live every day. When Pulsechain comes out, we'll probably need you. I mean,
Sounds
we're gonna need you on the front lines because there's gonna be lots of shit. You know that. I know that. And I'm gonna put myself in the most advantageous position possible, guys.
There you go.
My
Thumbs up for
vocabulary
that.
is going parabolic, just like my Twitter page. And guys, I'm gonna pop you down real quick. Thank you so much again, guys. I'll see you soon.
Peace.
Guys, real quick. Oh, shit, I was gonna show something. I'm gonna pull up this TikTok of Sam real quick. Now that I said it, I have to. Now that I said it, I have to pull it up. Let's go. Let's go. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Let's go.
Wow. That was incredible. Thank you so much for that, Bullish. That was so wonderful. I was going to bring up that TikTok, but I cannot freaking find it. There's too many TikToks in there, guys. Anyway, Sam was like, "What's a pleb?" And I did it in slow-mo, and it was really funny. He actually had no idea what a pleb was. Guys, I think Motley Investor, hold on one second, is streaming right this second. If you have not hit the subscribe button and the like button, please smash that like real quick. Can you smash that like for me real quick, guys? I've been going absolutely trying my hardest, rocking it out. Motley Investor is streaming right now, guys. I'm going to drop the link below. I want everyone to go into that stream like a wild spider monkey and absolutely say GRC sent me and he is taking you down in the challenge. He is taking you down in the challenge. Go say what's up to him. If you haven't liked and subscribed before you go, please do, guys. Thank you so much. I am going to run this one more time because I didn't get to see it because I was poking over the other page. Guys, I appreciate everyone here so much. It's your boy GRC. This is Crypto in the Morning. I'm going to go to the gym. Let's run this video one more time, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
Let's go.